Topics we will be covering today. First is overview of different AI applications and their use cases. Second is designing and building AI applications using GPT. And third is deployment strategies and conclusions for AI applications. And fourth is ethical considerations for AI development and deployment. So let's start with the first topic, that is overview of different AI applications and its use cases. Basically, it starts with NLP, that is natural language processing. Most of you have been known this topic from past. So NLP is a branch of AI that helps computers understand, interpret, and manipulate human language. NLP is used in a variety of applications such as chatbots, virtual assistant, and language translation. Kindly pay attention carefully. It might get help to you while having a quiz or a short Q&A session. So it's a basic definition, so you can read by yourself also. And second is image and video recognition. You can have your pen, so you can note it down, pen and paper. So AI is used to recognize and analyze images and videos. For example, facial recognition is used for security purposes, and image recognition is used in medical diagnosis. And then we have fraud detection. AI is used to detect fraudulent activities and transactions. This technology is used in the banking and finance industry to prevent fraud and money laundering. Healthcare. AI is used in healthcare to analyze patient data, diagnose disease, and develop treatment plans. This technology is also used to develop new drugs and therapies. Uh, it is not much more difficult to understand this basic definitions. Like for each topic, there must be one reason, like what kind of work we have to do with a particular topic. Like if we are using natural language processing, so it starts with the basics steps to apply, and image and video recognition. So you can also have the example of Alexa or Siri or some speech recognition. It is something like that only. And fraud detection, it we can use this algorithm to like we can make the model such as credit card fraud detection or something similar to it. And it is also used in a healthcare, like in hospitals also. We can have the large data uh, about the patients, so we can apply there also AI applications. And we can use the machine learning algorithms to get a particular outputs. Moving forward, we have second is designing and building AI applications using GPT. Overview of the steps involved in building an AI application using GPT, which includes choosing a GPT model, that is fine-tuning the model on your specific use case, integrating the model into your application. Most of them, I think, have missed the previous three lectures. We have covered this topic also, the actual basic definitions about this, but I will tell you again. So starting with the fine tuning the model on your specific use case. First is what steps we need to cover, that is involved in building an AI application. Choosing a GPT model. When building an AI application with GPT, the first step is to choose a GPT model that suits your specific use case, that suits your specific the work requirement, And then GPT models come in different size, and each size has different capabilities and performance levels. For instance, GPT-3 is the largest model. Like we all of know that GPT-3 is have most of the people have used the GPT-3 in a large scale on a large scale with 175 billion parameters, while GPT-2 has 1.5 billion parameters. When choosing a model, consider the following factors. First is the complexity of the task you want the model to perform. All I will suggest make these things uh, note. The second is amount and the quality of training data you have available, and the computational resources for what you have access to. So moving, um, if you want, you can write this following factors for your quizzes or short Q&A. So you will be not like buffering or not able to tell any answer. So it would be very helpful. That is complexity of the task you want the model to perform, amount and quality of training data, and computational resources. Don't worry about the topics. We are covering the main parts and describing them in a shorter way, in a easier way. Like you will get a clean idea about it, and you can also serve the internet while using this topic. So moving forward, next is fine tuning the model on your specific use case. First of all, I will tell you, while building a GPT model, we have two cases, like we have two factor. First is fine tuning, and second is our integrating the model into application. Always remember these two steps. It is important to apply these steps. Uh, Fine-tuning the model on a specific use case. Once you have chosen GPT model, the next step is to fine-tune the model on a specific use case. It involves training the model on a smaller, more specific data set that is relevant to your use case. Uh, if you want, you can note it down the definitions lines. This helps the model learn the specific patterns and characteristic of your data. When fine-tuning a GPT model, consider the following factors. That is, I have underlined it, the quality and diversity of the training data. The data which you are applying, it like you have to see the quality and the diversity of the training data, and the number of training iterations, like how many iterations it has, like iteration 1, 2, 3, and so on. And third is the hyperparameter of the model, that is learning rate and batch size. Fine. Now I will explain you in the easier way. When fine tuning a model means training the model on a smaller and more specific data set that is relevant to your use case. This process helps the model learn the patterns and characteristic of your data. And when fine tuning the model, it is important to consider the quality and diversity of the training data and the number of training iterations and the hyperparameters of the model, like the example, learning rate and batch size. And by adjusting these factors, you can improve the performance of the model and make it better suited for your specific use case. And So the next is integrating the model into your application. After fine-tuning the GPT model, the final step is to integrate the model into your application. This involves creating an API that allows your application to communicate with the model and receive responses. When integrating the GPT model into your application, consider this like before also, uh, please note it down the every specific topic has some factors like here we have three factors, you can note it down, and here we have also some factors, so it would be very helpful to you while learning more about these topics. So when integrating the model into application, consider the following: the programming language and the framework what you are using, and be efficient with your programming language. Whatever programming language you're using, at least you must have the basic uh, general knowledge about it. Without having the basic, you can't apply those algorithm or those logic to your model. And the scalability and performance requirements of your application, and the security and privacy considerations of your data and users. So it is like once you have fine-tuned your GPT model, the final step is to integrate it into your application. This requires creating an API that allows your application to communicate with the model and receives responses. So when integrating the GPT model into application, it is important to consider the programming language and framework you are using. I'm repeating the those lines again, so you might have some. I will question. I will answer the question after the quiz, so there will be no interruption in between that. Um, by considering this factor, you can ensure that the integration process is smooth and that the model performs well within your application. So these two steps are the most important one. The next is like I will post some questions. So let's see how many of you will get the right correct answer. Um, be active in a chat box. Yeah, it's correct. Creating an API. Here you go with the second one. Like someone asked, is fine tuning required as GPT 3.5 and 4 works well on few and zero shot? If yes, can you give a few examples, domains, and other aspects where this has been done? Uh, Actually, like fine tuning is not always required, but as GPT 3.5 and GPT-4 have been shown to work well in few shot, that is and zero shot settings for many languages task. However, fine tuning may still be necessary for specific use cases that require higher accuracy or domain specific knowledge. Like you can have some examples, like I have said before, uh, healthcare, that is GPT models have been fine-tuned for various healthcare related tasks such as medical diagnosis, patient triage, and drug discovery. And then we can have finance. GPT models have been fine-tuned for financial applications also, such as fraud detection, stock market prediction, and risk analysis. So in general, fine tuning is most effective when the task is closely related to the original training data of the GPT model and requires some specific domain knowledge. Uh, Most of them, I think, have got answer wrong for choosing the programming. What should the answer for what should be the considered when choosing the programming language and framework for integrating the GPT model into application is scalability and performance requirement. It's not like we have, like I have told you before also, while reading the slides, you have to note it down some specific points. Like I have told you the note the consider following factors, like those three factors for each uh, steps. So it would be helpful. It is answer A for that is scalability and performance requirement. So I will provide you the link for quiz. Uh, Attend it. You will get, at least I am hoping someone will get full marks. Yeah, sure. Welcome.
So Shapira, are we still waiting for more response?
I am posting the quiz link.
Okay,
Yeah, I have posted the link in the chat box.
thank you.
Attend the quiz and make it full marks. Like it is basic, you will get the full marks easily. After completing the quiz, post in a chat box that you have completed the quiz. Done.
Done.
Yeah, more.
Yeah, more.
Yes.
Yes. Just
My
mute
voice is like
the.
echoing.
Yeah, I just mute someone who just turned on the mic.
Okay, so there is no issue right now, I think.
Yeah.
That's good. That's great.
So I think Shapira, we probably can just move on. Or do you think we should wait for another 1 minute?
Yeah.
How many response are we getting now?
Till now, we have 6 responses, and most
Okay.
of them are getting full marks, and one Ben Yu Young has scored 4. What questions? Which question did he face wrong?
So
So,
5 of us getting full mark. Is that right?
yeah.
Okay. Maybe it's not that much challenging.
So can we move forward? If okay, like most of them have completed the quiz, but they haven't posted um, the done text box in the chat box. So we will be moving forward. We have a lot to cover. Let me remind you, the further part would be more theoretical. So whenever I say note it down, so please make sure you have a pen and papers so you can have your reference for the future. So let's start. Are everyone active or they have attending the quiz? They are attending the. Okay, so the next is their our third topic is deployment strategies and conclusions for AI applications. So it's overview of the different deployment strategies for AI application. First is cloud-based deployment and edge deployment, and then hybrid deployment. Make sure you are noting it down. Cloud-based, edge, and hybrid. These are the strategies for deployment in an AI applications. First is cloud-based deployment. Um, it is like it involves hosting and running AI application on remote servers provided by cloud service providers such as AWS, Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud Platform (GCP). Here are some advantages and disadvantages of cloud-based deployment. That is scalability. Cloud-based deployment allows for easy scaling of resources up or down based on the demand. And second is cost effectiveness. Deployment can be more cost effective than building and maintaining an open premise infrastructure. I will tell you this simpler one. Like if you have made one model, okay, and if you want to deploy them, so you will only get the clear idea, like what its advantages and disadvantages. Like you have built your model and you know the how how it will gonna work in future, and you know how much of cost you have been used for this model and its scalability, its performance, it is easy to use or not. Think it in this way. And the disadvantages, the security, storing sensitive data and intellectual property on remote servers can be a security risk, and then latency, depending on the location of the cloud servers and the size of the data being. You can also read the examples of cloud-based AI platforms and services include, that is Amazon SageMaker, Microsoft Azure Machine Learning, Google Cloud AI Platform. I will give you nearly 30 seconds to 1 minute to read the example. So I will tell someone to read this. Um, Rit, could you just read it out, the examples?
Sure. So Amazon SageMaker, that's a fully managed machine learning service provided by AWS, which includes features for building, training, and deploying machine learning models. Microsoft Azure Machine Learning, a cloud-based machine learning platform provided by Microsoft, which includes features for building, deploying, and managing machine learning models. Google Cloud AI Platform, a suite of cloud-based AI service provided by Google, which includes features for building, training, and deploying machine learning models.
Yes, thank you. Uh,
Mhm.
in a similar way, like cloud-based deployment involves hosting and running a application on remote servers. So there are advantages and disadvantages to using cloud-based deployment for AI applications. Like advantages, I have said the scalability, cost effectiveness, and the disadvantages are security, latency. However, the disadvantages include potential security and privacy concerns, like lack of control over the underlying hardware and software infrastructure, and potential downtime or service disruptions. By weighing these factors, organizations can determine whether cloud-based deployment is the right choice for their AI applications. So our next is edge deployment. Edge deployment is nothing but it involves deploying AI application directly on edge devices, uh, such as IoT devices, that is information of things, devices, mobile devices, and edge servers, which are located close to the data sources. Here are some advantages and disadvantages of edge deployment. Like advantages, you can see on the to the right part: low latency, cost effectiveness, privacy, and resilience. And disadvantages: scalability, complexity, and maintenance. Is totally depend on you, how you are building your model and how much cost you are using to build this model and how it will gonna work. Like it should be easy to use, not complex, not like it shouldn't in the form of lack of mode, like it shouldn't be hang. It should perform, make first of all, if you are building a model, make it simple so that it wouldn't get any errors while showing to others. So someone please read the examples of it. The only point of reading the example is like uh we are making this session not one way, it should be two-way. Supriya, could you just read the example of edge-based AI platforms include?
Yep. NVIDIA Jetson, a family of edge computing devices and modules provided by NVIDIA, which are optimized for running AI and machine learning workloads at the edge. Google Coral, a family of edge computing devices and modules provided by Google, which are optimized for running machine learning workloads at the edge. AWS IoT Greengrass, a software platform provided by AWS, which enables edge devices to run AWS Lambda functions and AWS IoT services at the edge.
Most of the words, thank you, Supriya, for reading this. Most of the words you have been uh, heard right now are irrelevant. So let me tell you the meaning. That is, edge deployment is the process of deploying AI application directly on edge devices. This is also like the previous one. This allows for faster processing of data and real-time decision making, as the data does not need to be sent to a remote server for analysis. I will repeat it once. This allows for faster processing of data and real-time decision making, as the data does not need to be sent to a remote server for analysis. The advantages of edge deployment for AI application include faster processing, reduced latency, and improved privacy and security. Since data does not need to have or need to leave the devices. However, the disadvantages include limited resource on the edge device, limited scalability, and potential difficulty in managing and maintaining the deployed AI applications. By considering these factors, organization can decide whether edge deployment is the best option for their AI applications. These are the deployment strategies that you will be using if you are going to, if you are planning to go in these fields, in this specific required fields. The third one is hybrid deployment. It is an application across both cloud-based and edge-based environment, allowing for a combination of scalability, cost effectiveness, and low latency. Like you can see, like in the previous two deployments, we have the advantages and disadvantages the same. Like how you are building the model, it is totally depend on those things. Like we have advantages: low latency, cost effectiveness, scalability, flexibility. The disadvantages are integration, complexity, cost. So the examples of AI hybrid AI platforms and services includes uh, Kevin, could you read if you are active, because you were not before, or someone can read the examples of hybrid AI? If yes, then start directly by telling the name before reading these examples. We are having some less time also. No one, or okay, so moving forward. So examples of hybrid AI platforms and services include Azure IoT Edge, a cloud-based platform provided by Microsoft, which enables running AI workloads on edge devices while leveraging cloud-based resources for management and scalability. AWS Outpost, a hybrid cloud platform provided by AWS, which enables running cloud-based services and workload on-premise for low latency and data privacy requirement. Google Anthos, a hybrid cloud platform provided by Google, which enables running workloads across multiple cloud providers and on-premise for flexibility and cost effectiveness. We will be having like two questions for this one also. So everyone, please pay attention in the chat box. I will send the question. Need to see some more answers. So the correct answer is C. It's not D. It's cost effectiveness. And someone have asked, how is resilience an advantage in edge deployment if the device is down, there is no backup? Uh, while edge deployment may not provide a backup if the device is down, so resilience can still be an advantage in certain edge deployment scenarios. Resilience refers to the ability of a system that is to cover from failures or disruption, and this can be important in edge deployments where there may be intermittent connectivity or limited resource. For example, in a remote oil drilling operation where data is collected from multiple sensors on edge devices, the ability of the system to continue functioning even if one of the devices fails, it can be critical for ensuring that the operation can continue without the interruption. So we have covered the deployment strategies. And the next is ethical consideration for AI development and deployment. Ethical considerations are ethical in the development and deployment of AI as they ensure that AI systems are developed and used in a way that aligns with human values, rights, and dignity. Here are some ethical considerations: bias and fairness, privacy and data protection, transparency and explainability. So in the development and deployment of AI, it's essential to consider ethical considerations to ensure that AI system aligns with human values, rights, and dignity. Bias and fairness, privacy and data protection, transparency and explainability are some of the critical ethical consideration for AI development and deployment. To ensure fairness and avoid bias in their decision-making processes, AI system must be developed and deployed in a way that avoids the use of biased data sets, algorithms, and models that can lead to discriminatory outcomes. This means developers must work to eliminate bias and ensure diversity in their dataset and algorithms. This is not only about the AI, machine learning, or GPT. We can also have this, like you can also apply to our basic role also, that is software engineering or full stack developer. Like we can apply this to our specific roles. Like these developers must work to eliminate bias and ensure diversity in their data sets and algorithms. And privacy and data protection are also critical ethical considerations for AI system. Developers must ensure that the data collection, storage, and processing are transparent and comply with privacy regulations to protect individuals' privacy and personal data. So the transparency and explainability are other critical ethical considerations for AI system. Developers must ensure that the decision-making processes of AI system are transparent and explainable. Like I have told you before, that it should be easy, simple, and people can read your the code. It should be clean and simple. It will provide better performance. So they should have provide clear explanation for how AI system make decisions and ensure that these explanations are understandable to end users. This way, user can have confidence in AI decisions and know the reason or reasoning behind them. It is not about the AI and the machine learning. We can also apply these considerations in our specific roles, like how the tech industry is right now running, like how people from different tech of or from different domain, like they need to clean their code. They need to first think like we have to implement this code in a easier way so that people could understand it and they can also get some help throughout if they review their code. So let's see. I think we have done for the sessions. Yeah, it's thank you and happy learning. Let's see the chat box. What's summaries? What ChatGPT releases regulations? I think there would be no regulations. Would it make a big difference? Uh, yeah, it could be, or it would be. It would make a difference. Like, um, people are like using chat GPT. We are having our work very easy, like we are getting some help, or we are getting some hope while using the chat GPT. But I think from my point of view, it will not replace the employees in the future, because chat GPT, like suppose if we are having one company, and I am the CEO of the company, or you are the CEO of the company, and for every aspect, like you have your financial department different, you have your uh, department different. So for everything, you will not use chat GPT, right? You will have your employees to make it work in a possible way. So I think it it will not make any difference. Yeah, welcome. In the wake, uh, we are having a session 5 and 6 also. If you are interested, you can join. You will get a simpler idea, like what else we can expect in 1 hour. Like it is like a treasure, like we are having our great 1 hour and having some effective knowledge. The wake of open source LLMs like Llama and Applica and Vicuna, how are we placed to embrace them? Like the emergence of open source, that is language model, and models like Llama, Applica, and Vicuna has the potential to democratize access to powerful natural language processing tools and make them more widely available to developers and organizations. To embrace this open source, like LLMS organization and developers can take the following steps, like evaluate the performance, suitability, contribute to the development. Uh, like open source LMS are community driven projects, and contributions from developers can help improve the models, ensure the ethical use of open sources. Yeah, it's like that only. Uh, Wait, Preet, I will try to answer you. What is next? What are the resources and tech constraints use them? Uh, like while open source, like what you have mentioned, the Llama and Alpaca and Vicuna, there are still some resources, tech constraints that organizations and developers may need to consider when using these models. That is computing resources, technical expertise, data quality and quantity, interpretability, and ethical considerations. So, could you? So we are done for this session. You can have my email, Preet. I'm posting the chat box. If you find this session knowledgeable or interactive, please join our next session also, that is 5 and 6. So we will be completing our whole one course. Like we have started these sessions like in March, I think. Yeah, sure. You need some specific information regarding Adobe Commerce. Yeah, cool. Like how world is working, like helping each other's needs or helping each other's problem, getting our errors solved or resolved, and sharing the knowledge. Like you can also share your knowledge to me, like to anyone. It's like sharing and working together to make our things easy.
Yes, I
Yeah,
totally agree. Yeah, thank you for doing that.
you're welcome. So Nicholas, are you there? So we can wind up the lecture.
Yeah, thanks so much, Shapira, and also all the attended tonight. So I think we have covered quite a lot of useful information, and also with the quiz, hope everyone can get a better understanding about like how the ChatGPT can be applied into a AI application. So yeah, I also did some of the attempts, but I think some of them were probably incorrect. But even incorrect can lead me to like more of the thinking to the right direction in the future. So yeah, thanks so much. Like especially in Preach, who and Victor Huang, who's
Yeah,
here, remaining in the call. Well done, Shafira. I think yeah, this one covered quite a
yeah,
lot of
Thank you.
informative. Yeah, thanks so much,
Thank you for the
everyone.
session.
Thank you, guys. Yeah.
Thank
you're
you. Stop recording.